And we're back! Welcome for another episode of Awesome Stuff Badly with me, Uncle Dr. Ernie. Whew! A little tired. It's been a long week, and I was up in the middle of the night, as has been happening a lot lately. So I've been trying to spend more time just praying rather than worrying about stuff. And it was a little bit of both, but I had a good talk with God and really just struck by how God was a maker before he was a father. He spent, according to the Bible, 5 days just building the world by himself and just taking joy in the beauty of creation before he created people to whom he turned over the dominion over this world. And it made me appreciate that the building of this product is as much an act of worship as building a company that I hope will communicate these values into the lives of people. So I want to just pray. God, help me to realize that you're not just a father, that you're my father, and that my making, my building, my creating is a reflection of your personality. Help me to enjoy this process. Help me to involve you in this process. Help me to do something that makes you happy, not just with the end result and not just with the process, but the attitude I have during the process, but with the process itself, that I would just feel your joy and that you would give me the energy and the insight to do something, however badly it's done, that makes you happy, and that I would feel your joy as my strength. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So let's get started. So we are going to do a new story arc, and we are going to be trying to do a layout. So one of the things I was wrestling with and praying about was we're getting a lot of, conflict. And as you may recall, if you've seen this code running, we are getting all these massive warnings just all over the place. And that's usually a sign that we are not having a good separation of concerns. This is one of the key principles in software organization, is thinking through who owns what. So to start cleaning this up, we are going to break everything and start over again. In particular, the thing we need to break is that we have two different places where we look at a turtle. Here in the grid view and here in the control view. And that really is telling us that turtles are a separate thing themselves. They shouldn't be part of our grid view. And, this is kind of a obvious moment for anyone who's done serious programming. It's called model view controller. And I totally get that. What we're trying to do is really think through from scratch a lot of these foundational principles, which means we're going to make a lot of the same stupid mistakes that people solved years ago. And that's okay, because we may discover a few new things that people didn't think about. So, it's just part of the learning process. But when we hit a problem that is a well-solved problem, we will say, okay, we really should use the tried and true solution rather than trying to do our own thing. So, let's get into it. Whew, but it's going to hurt. Okay, we'll try and make it hurt as little as possible. So we have our config file here, and what we're going to do is add a new module called layout, which will eventually replace grid, but we'll try to not break everything all at once. We will try to break it in small pieces, because that's how we roll. Okay, so we're going to create this thing here, and it's going to create a crash. I know. Boom. Should have done it the other way around, but that's okay. /config/layout, that's coffee. And then when I regulp, it should be happy now, right? Happy, joy. And does it actually still run? No, it doesn't, because there's nothing there. So let's go get to our layout, which will look like grid. Except it'll be called layout. If I can spell, which I used to be able to. So we'll just have no paths. So Not messing anything up. Okay. How can I make this innocuous? It's not messing anything up. It is messing things up, right? Yes, it is. Why is that a problem? Oh, because it expects everything to have a path. And if we don't, life is sad. So let's figure out how to make this just empty path. Does that get it out of the unhappiness loop? Yes, all right. Git add source, git commit dash am, add no op layout. It's a layout, but it has no operative values. Awesome. And we are going to, in particular, let's think this through. The first thing we want to do is import our grid into our layout, which seems odd since we just got rid of that. Actually, we want to have 3 children. That's the tricky part that we're going to think through here. Okay, we have our children here. We want actually do that. Does it mess anything up? No, it's happy having no children. Okay, awesome. We are going to have 3 components here, which we're going to call controls, the grid, and the inspector. So one of the things I realized that was causing me confusion, and probably would cause our user confusion, is we have these things here which control the entire app, and then we have this part here, which is actually a specific turtle's behavior. And so in order to simplify things, I think what we need to do instead is move those up here. And I think they have to be at the top because they're actually the first thing we want people to touch. If they have no idea what's going on, they should see the button, push it, boom, and the turtles start running around. And then when they click on a turtle, they get the inspector and they can see how to modify the behavior. But I think that's the cleanest interface, which is a little tricky in that we've got to kind of separate things a bit. But we will go with that. And I think what we will do is first manually create some controls. And then we will pull it out into its own file. Avoid. And I want to rethink something else here. There's 2 ways to make layering. One is ancestrally, where each thing draws and then we draw the thing after it. And that is the traditional superview, subview hierarchy. And there's an awful lot to be said for that. The other way to do it is peer-based drawing, is that we create a lot of context and structure at the top, but the actual drawing takes place only in the children. And that's what we've been doing so far. And I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it doesn't seem like it hurts our problem. So it does feel, but it might. What I really want is to say we've got this area of a certain size, and we draw the background, we establish the context there, and then the children inside get the subview. That's the real advantage, is that we can draw in different scopes and have it match. So the tricky part is then these paths become part of an authority. That's how we've been solving the problem before. I think we just got to bite the bullet and do it. Okay. Seems if I just draw this thing here. Yeah, it messes everybody up. Why? It's an interesting question. I guess the extra spaces were confusing it. Okay. Let's do it first where I'm drawing these controls underneath my grid, so I don't have to break everything all at once. I like that. I'm going to break everything, just not all at once. And so our controls is this thing here. And we need to set our right, so we need to set, let's just draw this box first, right? So the controls are going to have a J of scale and a path something like no, world gets size, right? A height of, let's pick a 96. And then let's see, is it even generating anything here? Right, so this is the controls. The J should be down there, so it should be transformed. We should have a fill, a stroke, and a path. And this thing should be vertical. Okay, it's not drawing anything. Let's see if it's even showing up. We have a layout root, which is good. Layout 3, 4, 384,000. That seems awkward. It should be split distance, right? The count. Which gets us to and that sure looks like a path to me. Oh, that's just that. Right, so we're outlining it there, but it doesn't actually draw for reasons that are confusing me. Is that because our viewport? Yes, that is the problem. Awesome. So let's save that first. The top level transform is, our main. Where is main? Main in Spain is mainly in the pain. That makes no sense whatsoever. All right. So our drawing, where do we have our top level SGG? This is our top level SGG. Okay. Right, we want to change this to be what is let's do the math here. 1024 divided by 768 is 4/3, right? $768 divided by 3 is 256. Okay. It's easier to do 3/4 than 4/3. So let's say we need a device width. It's 1024. And then in our draw, we have, where do we get grid size from? We'll use it here. Okay. Let's make that local then. Size equals, well, get device width, right? Yes. This is device width. Device width times 3 divided by 4. And that should, yes, give us our control surfaces. Awesome. And yes, they're all flush, and we should have margins and padding and all those things, but that is way simpler and further in the future. So expand viewport, which we should also be doing for HTML, but again, that's a different problem for a different day. And now we need to think about our controls. which are not here, but are here, currently under our layout. And what we have happening is, are we broadcasting? Yes, we're still broadcasting, so you're watching me fidget. We want to also draw our children. Um, 6 times 7/8 is 84. 12ths would be 88. Which we should probably just be explicit. Now, what we want is for our controls to have their own children, which of course will make it stop drawing, which is awkward. Let's see, what is our status here? Yep, that's where we got to bite the bullet and just change our draw and then fix everything that breaks. So maybe we can skip one step of breakage in that all these guys, like the grid, has no path. So it should draw intelligently even when we're recursing, which is good. The turtles do have a path up here. They also should have an authority, don't they? Yes. So what if we moved the path into the authority? Yep, that seems to work actually. And it'll break the controls, but we're planning to do that anyway, so that's fine. So now let's change our drawing algorithm. Nice. So the policy should be then, when we draw the world, is that okay, paths equals here. Path equals draw self world. Paths dot push. There's got to be a better idiom for this, but I don't know it offhand. If self path. And then This is always going to be a dictionary, right? Yes, this will always be, no, this will always be an element. Draw self is going to be elements, right? Equals elements equals, so if elements, then elements, else. A basic baby array. Results equal draw children world. Oh, yeah, we just do this, right? That should be a map. And if there are no children, there should be an empty map, right? Just be an array. Sorry, didn't mean to save that, but that's the way it goes. For child in result.
He's not.
That for child in array. Push child paths. Unless elements. And then this is just normalization equals all unless it's already an array. All right, let's see where it breaks. Probably everywhere. A couple of errors. That's better than I expected. Configurable result. Where's result? Where is result? Elements. Result. Array child paths. And boom, we are drawing. Modulo some artifacts, not bad at all. All right, cool. Draw recursively. All right. We're setting a transform we are drawing. So we're basically recreating a view hierarchy. Yes. I know, this is doing it the hard way. But that's what happens when you're trying to do awesome stuff badly. And in fact, that's where we stop. Woo! We made it through a significant piece of breakage, and we will take a breather and pick it up again. Thanks for watching, and see you next time as we do even more awesome stuff badly.